We all know what Kylie Jenner is known for: her lips, breasts, hips, and butt, all of which have been surgically altered or enhanced. Though Kylie has admitted to getting lip injections, she's been adamant that she has not undergone any other cosmetic procedure. Despite what she says, her body transformation has the trademark look of a Brazilian butt lift, a procedure that was made famous by the Kardashian sisters, and is now making their plastic surgeon, Dr. Simon Orion, an extremely in-demand and wealthy man. Instead, Kylie promotes scam products like skinny teas and waist wraps, and credits creams to making her breasts and butt grow. And I bet she makes a lot of money selling these products to young girls, making them believe that they are the reason that her body looks the way it does. She currently has 97 million followers on Instagram alone, and consistently uploads photos showcasing her body, collecting millions of likes from young girls. These images promote an ideal of female beauty that is based on surgical perfection. There isn't a roll, dimple of cellulite, or bulge of fat in sight. The average girl seeing these photos will never measure up to this level of perfection. And trust me, almost every girl seeing these photos will compare herself, even subconsciously. Kylie is selling her objectified body as the core of her brand. She's projecting to the world that the worth and power of women lie in how sexually desirable they are. You may be thinking, so, what's the big deal? Let a girl express herself. Well, it's not that simple. Studies have shown that the objectification of women in the media has a direct link to depression, anxiety, eating disorders, body shame, and sexual dysfunction in women. Whether she knows it or not, I truly believe that no other woman in the world today is having a greater negative effect on the self-esteem of young women. At the same time, rates of plastic surgery are at an all-time high. The Kardashians' plastic surgeon, Dr. Simon Orion, states that 10 years ago, 15 to 19-year-olds made up 1% of his clientele. Today, they make up 10%. There has also been a staggering increase in 13 to 19-year-olds getting lip injections each year. He says that when young girls come in, they show him pictures of other people they want to look like, while his older clients only want to look like younger versions of themselves. The fact is, young girls don't want to look like themselves. They're being taught that they need to have an extreme makeover in order to feel beautiful by today's standards. They want a Kylie-level glow-up, or they don't feel beautiful. While we can't blame Kylie alone for the issues that arise from the sexual objectification of women in the media, we can absolutely blame her for adding to it. And with a base of 97 million followers on Instagram alone, you can definitely bet she is adding to it. Hey guys, welcome back. I have an important video to make today. This is something that I am very passionate about. I was considering not putting up this video because I was like, maybe this doesn't go with my brand. I want to be this happy, fun channel that you guys can come watch for some relief and get some smiles out of it. But then I was like, you know what? I would love my brand to just be me. And being me is definitely making this video. I just want to start by saying that the topic that I'm talking about is much larger than Kylie Jenner, but I'm going to be talking about Kylie just as sort of like a case study. It's obviously part of a larger issue that has been going on for many, many decades now with sexualization of women in the media and now onto social media. I just want to open a discussion about something that matters so much to me and that I don't think is talked about enough. So I'm not here to say that the women are the problem. I think there is a much larger problem, but I do think that we're kind of taking some steps backwards. I have been personally victimized countless times throughout my life. I get sexually harassed out and about in Toronto on a weekly basis. I get horrible things sent to my messages, my Snapchat. I am constantly seen as a sexual object and not as a human being and as someone who deserves respect. I just think it's important for women to stop and think about what sort of image they're portraying and what they're telling their viewers about women. Now, I did want to say that I know from personal experience that a lot of girls fall into this trap of posting photos like that because they know that it's going to help them build a bigger following and in the end make more money. Sex sells. And because they probably feel like they have to, and that's something that I have felt before. I have posted sexual photos before. I mean, I think I post very few just because I'm honestly so uncomfortable with the whole thing. But I have done it, but because I feel like I have to, because I know it'll get more likes and probably more followers. But even though at the end of the day, I know that those aren't real likes or followers, they're just from disgusting men. and not people who actually care about what I'm trying to say or my journey or anything like that. They're just there to view me as a sexual object. So I myself have fallen into that trap, but I think we have to stop thinking about getting more likes and start remembering that you're a role model. I believe that we have a responsibility as women to show society why we deserve respect and why we deserve equal pay and why we deserve to be seen as intelligent, rather than pushing the same old message that all we are is our sexuality and our bodies and nothing more. Again, I'm not shaming sexuality, I'm just saying I believe we have a responsibility as women to show that we are more than that. And objectifying ourselves is a step backward. Extensive research has been done on the negative effects of female sexual objectification in the media. So many studies have been done. It is confirmed that depression, appearance anxiety, eating disorders, sexual dysfunction, and body shame are just few of the repercussions of this sort of sexual objectification of women. I just want to stop and say, yes, men are also sexually objectified in the media all the time, but just simply nowhere near as much as it is for women. And studies have shown that men actually do not feel the same effects from these sexually objectifying images, even if they're of men, as opposed to women who are deeply affected by these sort of images. So when women start to see too many images of objectified women, they start to objectify themselves. And what that means is they start to view themselves as a sexual object. And self-objectification leads to self-surveillance, which means you imagine what people are seeing when they see you. You're constantly thinking about, what is that person seeing when I'm walking through the door? When I'm walking by them, what does my butt look like when I'm walking by them? What do my thighs look like when I'm walking down the street? Are they jiggling? You start to imagine what other people are seeing when they look at you. This leads to body shame, body anxiety, depression, eating disorders. The list goes on. An interesting study was done on 3 different groups of women: blind, those who went blind later in life, and sighted women. And they studied the effects of body satisfaction versus abnormal eating attitudes. And they found that people who had been blind their whole lives had significantly less body dissatisfaction and had more healthier normal eating habits. And that women who only went blind later in life and sighted women had much, much higher body dissatisfaction as well as more disordered eating habits. So the results indicate that visual media plays a crucial role in our relationship with our bodies, our satisfaction with our bodies, and whether or not we have disordered eating. It has also been found that when women are objectified and sexualized in the media, it actually decreases the sex drive of women and they end up having sexual dysfunctions. A lot of women start to feel very self-conscious and on display. They start to feel shameful and disgusted by their own bodies, and that negatively affects their sexuality. In addition to sexual objectification, there's another thing which is deeply assaulting to the dignity of women, and it is dismemberment. The dismemberment is when there's just a body part in the photo. Basically, it just means that you're separating your face, who you are, from the photo. And this has so many negative repercussions. This encourages women to view themselves as parts rather than as a whole, or as a human being, but as a pair of boobs, an ass, thighs, things like that. Photos of dismemberment lead women to feel that if they have one body part that's not up to their beauty standard, that they cannot be beautiful. You may feel this personally. If you don't have a giant bubble butt, do you feel that you're not attractive? If you don't have big boobs, do you feel like you're not attractive? I feel that this is definitely something that affects many, many women today. In addition, women and girls are constantly conditioned to believe from a young age that their bodies are a work in progress, and that they should be constantly altering it. And instead of being satisfied with your body as a whole, you focus on what separate entities you lack. It's also been proven that exposure to sexual images of women have caused male viewers to become more tolerant of sexual harassment and rape myths. Basically, rape myths is when you start to not believe the person who is claiming they've been raped and to begin to victim blame. So next time you see a picture on social media and it seems too sexual, ask yourself, is there a subject in the photo or is there an object? Is it sexy or is it sexual? Is it intentionally provocative? And also ask yourself, does seeing these images motivate you or demoralize you? Is the image sending a message to you? An uplifting, positive, motivating message? Or is it just selling sex? Is it making the woman in the photo an object of sex? Or is it about the woman as a human? I don't want young women to view these images and believe that from a young age, their sexuality is for others and that their value lies in how sexy they appear to others. So I hope this video helped some of you guys. I hope it gets you thinking. I hope you start to reconsider some images that you're exposing yourself to. I'm completely open to hearing what you guys think. It's very tough to draw a line in the sand here where this type of photo is bad, this type of photo is good. Of course, there's so much gray area, and of course, women should be able to enjoy their sexuality. But I just think that there is a greater issue at hand that we may be contributing to, even when we don't realize it. Yeah, I hope you guys like this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye.